the organic foods industry is a complete scam to me. Absolute scam. It drives me nuts. I go to the store and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. How do you guys feel about GMO stuff? Do you care if it's not GMO?
I won't eat anything that is GMO.
You won't.
And I won't eat it if it's not organic.
Really?
I'm totally the opposite.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see. I'm the same way with the organic in the sense I always do that. But for me, it's a matter of, I understand that that maybe the non-organic, that there is, first of all, that there is a scam of some kind, that, you know, that jack the prices up. But to me, it's a matter of principle. You know, I don't want to give any bit of that money to go to Monsanto or any other company making the pesticides.
I know. Me too.
And again, because the industry will do what the consumers want. And if everybody did that, if everybody only bought organic and then you had all this conventional stuff just sitting there rotting, more of the farmers would then say, hey, I gotta meet with the times and go organic.
Well, I had no problem with the organic idea. Much like John just said, I don't trust them.
Yeah,
I don't trust them at
know,
all.
I understand that.
You know, I mean, there's a whole industry of this organic movement, and I don't trust them. You know, I'd like a carrot that came out of the ground with no problems, but Monsanto and the Franken seeds and the pesticides ruining our soil, and which then in turn caused the gluten issue, which then in turn causes everybody to go crazy. No, yes, Julia, I think it's good, but I don't trust him.
Well, that's interesting. I'm actually going to pose that question
Okay.
to Dr. Cabral,
Yes.
my favorite naturopath, and I'm going to ask him because he is amazing at this. He'll do all the research, and he's just it's an amazing podcast. But I'm going to ask,
Okay.
you know, do you ever find yourself worrying that it's getting a false label? And we'll see what he says.
Yeah.
Are there any brands you recommend that, you know, are third-party tested, right? That's kind of what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
because there's always going to be some heavy metals, and not the kind that I like to listen to, in soil and what have you. And it says, well, yeah, I mean, that's just natural. There's going to be some cadmium, some lead. But
Right.
the phrase that bugs the shit out of me, I go to Costco, they're always trying to throw something at you, you know, the free samples. It's all natural. And if they annoy me enough, I'll say, you know what, so's arsenic. And cyanide. That's all natural too. Doesn't mean you should eat it.
Don't argue with the people at Costco.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, but don't tell me it's all natural, because that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, just because something's natural doesn't mean that it's good for you. And with GMO, it's just that I don't know enough. I mean, I don't think anybody knows enough to know whether or not it causes a problem. I think in some cases I've heard that like oatmeal has changed so much over the years that the oatmeal that, like my father, who's 94, that he ate as a kid is different. I mean, fundamentally different than the oatmeal taste. So how does the body react to that? I mean,
Well, and you know, now you try to look for ancient grains,
Yes.
which I do believe is a good thing, but I also don't. I can't trust. You know, I mean,
unless you grow it yourself.
grow it yourself, and our grains have changed. And corn is the devil now, and eggs are okay, and it's just a terrible thing to keep up with. You know.
Yeah, well, you can't get away from corn, even if you only eat meat, because the cows ate the corn.
Right.
You know, I
Yeah,
think David Pollan pointed that out in either Omnivore's Dilemma, or he did a video. He did a documentary on Netflix about that. That, you know, the Mexicans used to say that they were the corn people because so much of their diet was based on corn. But there's an isotope that's left over from consuming corn that gets into a person's body, and they can measure that. And they find out, no, Americans are now the corn people. Because even if they don't think they're eating corn, they're eating corn.
Oh,
It's in
right?
everything.
It's
You go to
amazing.
McDonald's, you pointed out the Happy Meal. Well, the cow that the beef came from was raised on corn. The bun has corn oil, right? Or high fructose corn syrup in it. The French fries were fried in corn oil.
Yes.
The ketchup is mostly, again, corn syrup.
Yeah.
So, and then the Coca-Cola is corn syrup. So,
Right.
you know, oh, I didn't eat any corn. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Well, welcome everybody to the Pod Bay Door. As you can tell, we're talking about unhealthy kind of things and healthy alternatives. But we're going to talk a lot about that and how Vegas is involved. First, I want to thank John and Julia for being here. Thanks for coming to the studio again. They are a wonderful co-host with me. Also, thanks to our sponsor, TBM Electric, for some fantastic work in Las Vegas and the West Coast. TBM Electric, they do commercial and retail electric services. Check them out. It's tbmelectriclasvegas.com. If you want to get a hold of us, it is the Podbay Door LV@gmail.com. Send any questions you have, or you can check in with us at all of our social networking. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram. We're all over the interweb. Thank you, Al Gore. We're going to tease a little bit here. The Podbay Door is going to slowly become a podcasting network. We're going to start real slow. We're going to curate everything that comes in. But the first one you're going to see, it's actually by John, Julia, and myself. It is going to be talking about all the important topics to us, and hopefully all of our cohorts in the same generations that we represent. And we will announce it on the Podbay Door. But we're going to talk about unhealthy eats and what Las Vegas has to offer. I was amazed, guys, that when I looked up some statistics. And you'll be happy to know and amazed to know, and all the listeners will be amazed to know, Las Vegas isn't even in the top 10 obesity rates in the United States.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Where do you think it is?
It's in the South, probably Louisiana, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. One is not. Number one has just overtaken
Georgia
in 2016-17. West Virginia.
Oh.
37.7% obesity rate.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Followed very closely by Mississippi, Alabama, and all of the southern states, as John said. Now, of course, there's Nevada doesn't even rank in the top 20. Yeah, very interesting. Las Vegas doesn't push us in any particular direction as far as obesity rates and unhealthy eating. It's not good, it's not bad. It's just statistically right in the middle. It's in the median range. So why do you think it's in the South, John?
Well, I think a lot of that is culture.
Yeah.
And again, having had to go there on business, I see what they eat.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is really good. But sure, part of that is their culture. I know that they have a lot of get-togethers, maybe because they're smaller communities. Also, maybe because of the weather, they don't get outdoors as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there's a combination of things like that. But certainly what they eat. I mean, just look at that Paula Deen show. When you walked on it, I mean, you could practically get fat just watching what she's putting into that pie.
Yeah.
My husband's family live primarily in Georgia, some in Kentucky, and I can tell you their eating habits, almost everything is fried. There is a fried dish at almost every meal. Lots of biscuits, things like that. So they do have a cultural way of eating. They really do fry a little bit more than we do, I think.
Paula Deen never recovered from that. She did.
What did she do?
She party planned, and she did it based on a plantation, and included aspects of slavery. And
she did a lot of things.
She was
Other things
attacked for that.
The thing that really annoyed me about her is here she is hawking all of these pies and treats on her show that were there's nothing there that she made that didn't have like a half a pound of sugar in it. Yet she herself it hit the fact that she was diabetic, and then started hawking the diabetic medicine. So I said, well, you're turning people into, if they're sitting there watching your show and eating this stuff, they're not helping their diabetes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now we have in Las Vegas, we have an inordinate number of celebrity chefs. I'll call them celebrities. I don't think they are. They are in their own. They love to hear themselves talk. If that's a celebrity, then they're perfect. We have the Gordon Ramsays, we have the Emeril Lagasse's, we have and the David Chang, Momofuku, and however, I have to say they're not like Paula Deen. They aren't they're not just this fried fatty biscuit syrup kind of thing, and they bring in excellent food, but unfortunately their problem is not it's not akin to the obesity problem. Their problem is cost. And Mario Batali, That's a toss-up. I don't know if Batali got bounced or he chose to close his restaurants because of of a financial reason, if he was, not meeting his cost, benefit analysis, or if it was because, like you had mentioned earlier, John, he was shamed in some way. What did he do? What did he do? I don't remember. What did Batali?
Sexual harassment.
Was it harassment?
He got pulled into the whole Me Too thing.
Oh, okay. He got Me Too'd. Okay.
He got Me Too.
Me too. But I'm very surprised. Las Vegas is a copy of everything in the United States and beyond. So therefore we represent everything. We have Louisiana. John's mentioning taking a trip very soon to New Orleans. We have
great food there too.
Great food, fantastic food. Now New Orleans is on the list. Yeah. It's within 15. But Nevada, for as much as Las Vegas represents the indulgence, it doesn't represent it statistically.
Well, yeah, part of it could be the people who visit and the people who live here are different.
Yeah.
But you think about those celebrity chefs and all the nice restaurants. One of the stereotypes of those high-end restaurants is that the portions aren't very large.
Right.
So there was a rule in Okinawa, really in Japanese eating, was that you eat till you're 80% full. Right. Now that would be something that would be really unheard of here, because so often people want the big portion size. That's cultural also. When I was a kid, there was a restaurant in San Francisco, Fat Ed's. And it was a steak restaurant. And I remember people telling me about Fat Ed's. I went to Fat Ed's, the steak was this thick. And they would indicate with their thumb and forefinger like 1.5 inches. Well, was it any good? It was this thick. And they would show you how big it was. Well, was it any good? Well, it was a little tough. Yeah. So they didn't care if it was any good. It was just how big it was. And we get that here with Cheesecake Factory, which I think is good. The cheesecake there was great, but it's just like there's so much of it. One slice will last me 3 days. Just like
oh my gosh.
But other people, yes, they start in on it, and there goes 1,200 calories.
It's like the French paradox. Have you heard that term? Where the French eat richer foods. They don't go for the non-fat. They eat a lot of butter, creams, sauces, but they are statistically thinner than we are. Yeah. The paradox is that their portions are very, very small.
Yeah. I spent quality time in Europe, not much time in Paris, but lots of time in Italy, and that's the same thing.
Yeah.
You think of it, and pizza is it's not strictly American, but it's really an American iconic food. Yep. We made it what it is. We made it these, with the stuffed crust and the this and the that. And the other thing is they walk everywhere.
Yeah.
They do.
You don't want to drive in Rome. You don't want to drive in Paris. Yeah, it's horrible. So they walk everywhere. And when I visited, I realized I walked everywhere. I walked from the restaurant to the Coliseum, and from the Coliseum to the next thing. Yep. And I realized at the end of the day, I came home having lost weight. I lost 3 pounds.
Yeah. Japan was that way too, because usually when you're looking for an apartment, they always kind of give you the reference of how close it is to the train station. The farther away the train station, usually the cheaper it is. Mm-hmm. So you get a place, or the more expensive it is, the closer. But still, you're looking at 10-minute walk. So you're walking 10 minutes to the train station to get somewhere. Then when you get off the train station, wherever you work, there's probably a walk after that. So they get a lot of this, what they would call non-exercise physical activity, and it adds up. You just burn a lot of calories. Where people here, it's from their room to their garage to get in the car, to drive to the parking lot right out in front of their office, or they insist on parking right in front of the store. Everybody wants that one right there because they can, they don't have to walk anywhere. Yep. So they avoid that type of exercise.
Yeah, now there's walking here in Las Vegas. You can walk.
Yeah.
I mean, you can walk a lot. People don't walk right now because it's
108 degrees outside.
Yeah, Satan has arrived.
Yeah.
113 yesterday.
Yes.
110 today. Yeah, it reminds me. I don't know if you guys ever saw this. The Chronicles of Riddick, Vin Diesel. there's this planet he's on, and when the sun arcs over, he's running to this cave, and the sun is slowly meeting, is burning his butt, and he dives into this cave. That's exactly the way I feel when I come home every day. It's just horrendous here. But people, when they don't walk, well, people are unprepared for this, so they try to walk. So they have the Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. They have all of that. They have their drinks, and they try to walk to the next casino, and they just keel over. I mean, the ambulances are on staff. But okay, I'm going to scare you guys. I'm sitting here, for all the listeners, I'm sitting here with two very healthy people. John, I don't know. I think you're the healthiest.
I would agree.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, you got to, you are. You're old.
I'll probably drop dead on the way home.
That's right. You'll get hit by a fat guy in a beer truck smoking marijuana. There you go. I'm gonna hit you with the top 3 as of the end of the year 2017. Top 3 single item fast food, highest calorie. And I'm not even gonna have you guess because I know you guys don't eat there. Do you eat fast food?
I have not in probably over a decade.
And John, you haven't.
No.
Yeah, you told me if you had a hamburger, that'd be it. It'd be.
Yeah, I think the last time I had a hamburger, I was 22 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So 68 years ago.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, 37 years. Yeah.
Wow, seriously.
Yeah.
You think?
No, I've had things that were like it. Whatever the vegan burger, whatever like that.
I can't believe it's not beef.
Yeah, but now it's just like now that I'm they hit over 40, I don't want any soy. So otherwise it's just like it isn't like I really liked them in the first place.
Yeah.
So
I like a good burger. Or I like a good burger. I did. Yeah, I've had those. Yeah, I've had those. And they make them out of black beans.
There's just the consistency's a little bit off. So I said, just give me the beans.
I've had I can't believe it's not chicken, and they've done pretty good. Like chicken nuggets, they're not bad. They've faked it. There's a company called Quarren, I think it's pronounced. And you can get it in your local grocery store, and they have little chicken patties. And if you're just dying for something like that, and if you feel like you're eating poorly, but it's not, it's all mushrooms.
Oh,
yeah. And actually, they did it. Okay, here we go. Number 3. Let me make sure I got these. Number 3. Our friends over at Chipotle.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have their problems anyway with the washing the hands and everything, but that's a fun story to cover, isn't it?
They should have been called In-N-Out. That would have been a better name for them.
There you go. But Chipotle's large burrito with beef, with all the items, including sour cream and the cheese and the whatever the hell they made. Yeah, guac. Yeah. Although
I love guac.
I do too. The avocado is good. It's good.
Yes, it's a good fat.
It's good cholesterol, good fat. Yeah, but guacamole, I don't know. I don't know if making guacamole makes avocados bad, does it?
No,
they don't add anything. It's just added with some
onions,
lime, or
whatever you want.
Yeah.
So all told, plus, and the number one offender, of course, is the tortilla.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's horrendous. 1,085 calories.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's on training wheels when it comes to the list.
Yeah.
Number 2. Now these are single item fast food. Single item. That means you haven't no drink, no dessert, nothing. It comes from our friends over at Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
I love Sonic.
Oh yeah, I've only seen those commercials.
I did love
those
Sonic.
Two guys in there that never go home.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Good ad campaign.
Those guys, both of them must have colon cancer. I think that's all they do is they
12 hours of eating the same tater tots. That's why I like Sonic, tater tots. Yeah, the only people that I know of as a fast food restaurant serving tater tots, and you have my vote. I love tater tots. But the Peanut Swirl Master Blast.
Oh gosh.
It is a Blizzard milkshake hybrid.
Yeah.
2,190 calories.
Oh, yeah. You can drink calories, a lot more calories than you can eat at any one time.
Right.
Because you think about it, you could eat 2 of those burritos.
Yeah.
For 2,000 calories, and a lot of people say, "Man, I can't. Those are too big."
Yeah.
But you can drink that shakedown. I can probably drink 2 of them.
Now I could have driven our listeners crazy and done the salt content.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. But I'm not going to do that. Now here we go. Number one, single item. and this is obvious. Our friends over at Burger King, they got it. They beat McDonald's. The BK Triple Whopper, no cheese, 2,250 calories.
Wow. For a hamburger.
Oh, my goodness.
For a hamburger. For a triple now. Yeah.
Triple
You
meat.
know, I was at Macy's some years ago, and one of the funniest things I ever saw was a pair of boxer shorts that had the Burger King logo on it. It said "Home of the Whopper."
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty
That's funny. Now, this one will surprise you. That was number one. Now, honorable mention was the one that was number one a while ago. The last time we discussed this, I think a long time, quite a few podcasts ago. And I'm a milkshake fan. I've said on the air before that if I was going to get fat, it would be donuts and or milkshakes.
I'm with you on that.
Yes. And Winchell's donuts, not Krispy Kreme. Winchell's.
Yeah.
But McDonald's large vanilla milkshake.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't have any milk in it.
I know.
That's why they call it a shake, right?
That's right. That's right.
They don't-
995 calories.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Julia needs to
and those-
recover.
those-
She's
and the thing
going
is,
to take
you
a quick
could find
nap.
things like Cold Stone Creamery.
Yes.
I'm sure their milkshake, because I watch all the ice cream that goes in it.
Yeah.
And I thought, holy shit, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the advantages of being thin. I can get away with that. People look at me, and I know what they're thinking. Look at that guy. Yeah, I eat the same thing, I get fat. Well, it's just that I really don't eat this very often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And here,
So anyone
yes.
visiting Vegas, if
Yes.
you want to just go into the most gluttonous restaurant you've ever been to, the Heart Attack Grill.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Downtown.
Yes.
I looked in the window.
So how much do you have to weigh to eat free? There's a giant scale, and it's not a bathroom scale.
Yeah.
No, it's a
like
medical scale.
medical
Yeah.
platform
Yeah.
that you step up
Yeah.
onto in front of all of downtown.
Yeah.
And there's a big readout of numbers.
Uh-huh.
And if you reach how many pounds?
You know,
300?
I'm not sure. Before we end this, maybe I can look that up.
Yeah.
But you're right. It has that big scale, and it's not digital. It's not the nice ones. It's the
No.
ones where it goes where the weight and it goes
you have to wait, you gotta
gabong.
push them to the side.
You know,
Yeah.
and it goes 200 gabong, 300 gabong, 400, and yes, I don't know the weight, but it's
And they will
significant.
celebrate
It's
you
more than the
if you
three.
weigh
It's
this.
more than the three of us combined.
I think so too. And
Yeah.
you eat for free.
You eat for
and
free.
then the meal, I think the biggest meal, there's like a,
Quadruple burger.
yep. And then there's a slab of meat you can
Yes.
get. And I just
Yeah,
can't
even
think.
the milkshake did sound. It was made with like pure buttermilk. Or,
Yes, and yes, again, I believe we mentioned this on a previous podcast. A gentleman did have a heart attack at the
Yeah.
Heart Attack
He did.
Cafe. He did. Now I can't blame them.
And
10
1 pound is 3,500 calories.
Yeah.
So
One
That's
pound,
right.
3,500
go.
calories. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, I can't even imagine it. Now, now we'll let the listeners, let's let them recover. We have a question. What prompted all of this? And again, Las Vegas has these restaurants, but we don't represent them. We actually represent a relatively healthy, I guess, or modest
Yeah, and those
way
are
of
chains.
eating.
Those are all over.
Yeah, those are all of
Yeah.
it. Las Vegas actually represents a modest way of eating. Mainly because our restaurants are so expensive, you can only buy so much, But I mean, the celebrity chefs don't put forth any competition to a Carl's Jr. Even
Right.
even the guys that Carnivino, and they had big steaks, but nothing close to this. Nothing
No.
close to Carl's Jr.
they're about quality, not quantity.
Yeah. So Marcy from Twitter wrote to Julia because Julia, while we were still doing video, which we were going to start again very soon, on YouTube, she saw Julia on YouTube, and sees that she's fit and very attractive and very thin. And she said, Julia, I live in Los Angeles. I'm fit. I'm relatively attractive, and I'm in my mid-30s. She said, and I live in shallow Los Angeles. And she said that for a long time it was I was the standard. I was the one that did all the right things, and people aspired to me. And she said it's changed. The perception now, she feels she's almost chastised for being the size and representing her type, her body type. And she said, Julia, have you experienced this in Las Vegas?
Yes. I would say in two ways. So I typically get this at work, and it's very roundabout. So I'll give you my first example is at work in the industry. I work in the mortgage industry, and people are typically trapped at work. There's not a lot of going to lunch because there's just so much to do. So people order in, and there's, people bringing donuts and this and that, and I don't eat it, and then I get made fun of for not eating it. And the other thing that people will say to me is, well, I'm happy. And I think, I said, well, what do you mean by that? I said, well, you don't eat, you don't get to eat these donuts, but I get to be fat and happy. And I'm thinking to myself, gosh, I'm not unhappy because I'm thin or because I'm denying myself something. If I wanted to eat it, like you said, John, I'll eat it. But the point is I'm not eating it all the time.
Yeah,
it's a rarity.
When you live, unlike when you say a diet, people always think of a calorie-reduced diet that you only do for a short amount of time. But really, your diet is what you eat all the time.
Yeah.
And when you eat healthy foods and you do that for a while, you reset your taste point.
Yep.
So when Jamey was talking about the poppers, and you can see it here, but I cringed because it just sounds terrible to me.
Yeah.
Or I watched that show with Casey Webb, Man versus Food. What do you eat? I know that they're trying to look at these comfort foods. Look at this. It's not. It's like, how much of this can the guy eat? It's the grilled cheese sandwich inside of a hamburger, right? And I look at it and see that's just it revolts me just because I don't want all that fried stuff.
I don't want to eat all fried.
So yeah.
Yeah, and there is,
yourself.
there's a thing called fat shaming, but I think there is another type of shaming going on because I think basically, gosh, I'm going to piss people off with this. I apologize,
That's okay.
but hey,
I'm right there with you.
it's my opinion. So here we go. So I think that in America, we tend to, when we don't want to do something like eat right or exercise or do something, we tend to start to make it okay to not do it. And we start to take pride, right? We start to say, yeah, I'm fat and happy, like that person told me. I'm fat and happy, and, I get to do what I want and eat what I want. And so now we've got this thing happening where it's almost like you're not in the cool club. Like at work, I'm not, because I've got my small lunch of vegetables and everybody's, ordering in pizza and, oh, look what she's eating. Whereas before, I think more people were eating that way. But now, it's prideful. People are...
Yeah, I was unaware before even this podcast about the fat pride movement, much like the gay pride movement and all the other pride movements. And people compared it to the gay pride movement. And now there's a gender pride movement, which we're definitely on our new format. We're going to talk about that. But the fat pride movement is not like the gay pride movement. The gay pride movement is both a physiological, biological, sociological argument. And whatever side you're on, it is not bad for you. Either side, it's not bad for you. Fat is bad for you.
Yeah, you know who doesn't like fat people? It makes no bones about it. Mother Nature. Because you look at the reasons people die: heart disease, diabetes, cancer. All of those are affected by weight. Skinny people have less mass, so the odds of them of the cells in their body mutating and becoming cancer are less than if you have more mass. The same thing with high blood sugar. It's going to lead to inflammation, which leads to heart disease. And, you have all kinds of issues with the pancreas. So, yeah, Mother Nature does not like fat people.
Well, and I don't know why that Americans, like you said, they instead of they always love to throw Barbie in there. They do
love that.
And that poor doll.
Yeah.
But yes, our society does tend to set the bar a bit high for women. Guys are different. Guys are different. But for women, yes, our society does put women on this pedestal and say, you need to look like this.
Yeah, but who does that, though? Here was the thing, because I've heard you hear about Barbie. Girls think they have to look like Barbie. And I thought, well, I never played with Barbie, of course, as a boy. But I had action figures, right? That's what they called the boy dolls. And they were all big, beefy, muscular type of guys. Now, I never thought as a kid growing up, gee, I have to look like this guy. And I never felt like any girl in my class say, "Why don't you look like, Captain Marvel?" In the same way, I never heard a boy say to a girl in my class, "Why don't you look like Barbie?" We never looked at Barbie, right? We're boys.
Yeah. And yeah, I never demanded anything like that, nor did the people within my generation that I befriended. But the problem is, what's happened is now, like Julia said, everything has been made okay. All of the social changes happening, the Me Too movement, everything else, everything has been made okay. And then anybody else that says it's not okay, we're going to shame them now. We're going to say that you represent the old guard. You represent what women were demanded to look like, and it's bad. Well, see, the problem is, okay, people shouldn't denigrate any individual for anything that they do within legal parameters. The problem is, it's not okay. It's not healthy. It's not good. And because you've banded together and said, okay, all of us are fat, it's okay. It's not okay. You're all extremely unhealthy.
Yeah.
And which brings me to the second thing is, and body shaming, well, of course it's bad. I'm not going to say, well, Julia, your hair's brown. That's not good. Your hair's black now. We're doing black. That's ridiculous. So anybody that body shames, that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
But anything that reverse shames, it's just equally ridiculous. Stop telling me I'm a bad person
or unhappy
because I keep myself fit, or I want people around me that are fit. Fine, have whoever you want around you. If you want a bunch of fat people around you, that's fine. But don't tell me it's okay, and don't tell me I'm wrong. I feel the same way about religion. Just do whatever you want. Stop talking about it. But see, the other thing is the plus size model movement.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pay homage to Steven Crowder. I don't know if I agree with everything he says on his podcast, but he said something that did ring true to me. And it's like we opened up talking about GMOs and organics and everything else. I don't trust it. And it's the same thing about plus size models. I don't trust them at all, and here's why. And this is again, Steven Crowder said this. If you look at the plus size models, neck down or maybe even chest down, they're pretty big, and they're really big. They're obese. But neck up, they've had everything perfect. They have perfect hair, perfect face, perfect eyes, perfect makeup. And why? Well, this is what he said. And I totally agree with it. He said, because we're going to sell them some. We're going to sell all the fat chicks something. We're going to sell them makeup. We're going to sell them this. We're going to sell them curvy is good. We're going to sell them all these oversized bathing suits. So they're not representing fat women. They're not gaining pride for all the people that are fat. They're selling stuff because, bang, there's a market. And that's what we do. We find markets in this country, and we say, fat people. There's a lot of fat people now. What can we sell them? And I tell you, if suddenly we started doing skinny people, there's skinny people, there's old people, look at what we do. Why do we have big pharma? Because all of us are sick and old.
Yeah. And
our wieners don't work.
Yep.
And we're going into early menopause and hot flashes, and that get on there. Heartburn. Just watch the Super Bowl. Look at the ads on there, right? They're always for some beer, and the thing is that's fine, but it's shitty beer, right, guacamole. Or chips and all kinds of junk, and then on top of that, here comes the heartburn medicine. Yeah, right. And then the Viagra and everything else, because that's a lifestyle. See, I personally think that especially the fat issue, I think that all of this have pride in yourself. That's fine.
Yes,
you can be a confident, happy person. If you're good at your weight, you're good at your weight. Don't tell me it's healthy. But see, the problem is, don't be fooled by all of this, all of these people that the hooray. No, you've got to understand that the United States is going to take advantage of you because you now have grouped it. We had a fat problem already. We had a cardiac problem. We had a blood problem. We've got all these problems, and but nobody grouped it. Nobody wants to say, yeah, hey, both of us have bad hearts. Let's start a group. No. See, anything that's surface, anything that is on the exterior, cosmetic, That's where the groups come in. And they say, fine, we're going to say, we're going to gather all these fat ladies together, and it's okay. And here's some jeans, here's some makeup, here's some food. And oh God, Julia, you should agree with this. Go to YouTube and find all of these. All you have to swing a dead cat on YouTube, and you'll find a video from a trainer that's working with this, and all these women that are doing these ridiculous exercises, and they're going to sell exercise. They're going to sell fit and plump to fit, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, it really is a reflection of your lifestyle. And again, they're fine. I mean, I'm sure that the people you work with, the heavy ones, they do a good job, some of them.
Yeah.
And they're fine. And you're not going to say, well, we don't want her in the office because she's fat.
No, not at all.
And, that's irrelevant. But they shouldn't come out for you because you're not.
Yeah.
Or, in my case, I was a fat kid. And my family, a lot of them were fat. So it really came down to lifestyle. So that's just and I have to put up with that when I see them. I haven't seen some of these people in years. The only thing I notice is they put on another 10 pounds since the last time I saw them. And what do they say to me? You're too skinny.
Yeah, you're too skinny.
You're too skinny.
But that seems to be okay. I can't say to them, you know what, you're too fat. Oh, I see you gained another 10 pounds.
Yeah, but see, you are chastised for saying you're too fat.
Yes, I would be, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, but if somebody says you're too skinny, it hits you right in the middle of the head. You're like, too skinny.
Yeah.
I mean, there is
Compared
too
to what?
skinny.
Yes,
there's wasting away.
Yeah.
But another thing that Las Vegas has a problem with, much like Los Angeles and New York, respectively, is our industries, gaming, entertainment, all the stuff, especially gaming and entertainment, we have a model by which to design our workers. We don't, we like the red beans and not red beans, brown rice and broccoli, for our dancers. Julia, I'm sure you've existed on that for a couple of weeks. And people always say, well, Las Vegas is demanding unreasonable, limitations for women. Well, I disagree with that. They're dancers, they're performers. I don't want to go to a performance. I don't want to go see a Cirque performance, and I don't want to go see a Folies Bergère and all the other and see fat ladies. Does anybody want to see that? No. You go to see the fantastical. You go to see the what's beyond you, the wonderful, the wonderment that it is. You don't want to see everyday stuff. That's why I joke about movies. I want to see explosions, I want to see nudity, and I want to see scary and aliens, because I don't want to see what's happening today.
Right.
It's terrible. Our lives are awful. What we deal with. We deal with death, and we deal with cancer, and we deal with all these awful things. I want to see Sylvester Stallone blow something up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see fat girls on the Las Vegas stages. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And I've used the same analogy for years and years and years. It's selling jeans. Well, now you see oversized jeans being sold in magazines, but for the longest time, you saw perfect people wearing jeans. Brooke Shields, I remember, she was the big one. Brooke Shields.
And she was like 14 years old and 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and the girl with the boa constrictor, Natasha
Kinski. Oh yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And they were ideal jean wearing women, and that was it. And if women would admit it, Julia would, I hope. They don't want to see it either. They want to see that. They want to see the beautiful Brooke Shields, and I aspire to that, and that's why they bought the jeans.
Yep.
But you know what? I don't like this movement because they're making it okay, and it's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
Just for health. Just think.
Yeah, for a health reason. I mean, I look at it, and it isn't, to me, it isn't vanity. It's just like it's nice for me. I like to be able to sit on the ground, and this is the measure they found of longevity. If you can sit on the ground, flat on the ground, and stand up without touching anything, without putting your hand on the ground, without grabbing anything, if you can stand up from a sitting position, you're considered to be in good health. Physically, to do that. It's not like a matter of strength. It's
sitting on the ground?
Yeah, you're sitting on the ground. You're right in the middle of the floor. It could be on a carpet. It could be on a hard ground. And now stand up.
Oh,
and
I'm screwed.
It's a matter of yes,
screwed.
You would be screwed because of your knees. Because if you can do a deep squat, even a body squat, you should be able to do that. It's a matter of balance because older people, they start to lose their balance, and it's a weight issue. if you're thinner or you're lighter and you're able to do that, you are basically lifting your upper body with your legs.
Right.
You're not lifting as much weight. It's the
You
same
do
thing
that?
with pull-ups.
Yeah.
You do that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll beat both of your asses. I can't do that. No, I can't. I can't go into a catcher stance.
Yeah.
I mean, my knees are screwed. Both my meniscus are gone. So it's just, it's horrible. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah, you see,
interesting.
my sister, who has been overweight. Now she's not. I wouldn't say no. She's not obese. She's just heavy, but she had to have both of her knees replaced. Now she's older than I am, but again, it was what her doctor said was years of too much weight on your knees when you walk. She
Right.
didn't run or anything like that, but too much.
Wow.
So now she's lost weight and feels much better. Of course, she has bionic knees. But
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that.
no,
Yeah, I'm gonna be buried with what I was born with. So, well, people are gonna ask, how does this relate to Las Vegas? And you know what? The reason I think this is specifically related to Las Vegas is often people are discouraged from going to Las Vegas, and it's denigrated for being the bastion of decadence. And it's not. It's just not. It's statistically not so. It is actually not so. And we're not representatives of almost. We're not really the standard bearer for almost anything. We are not the worst in calorie food. We're not the worst in fat. We're not the worst in education. We're the only thing that it's the stigma of what happens here stays here. And Las Vegas has negatives, but it's actually not that bad. It's actually a pretty good place, and I think I think they're predominantly healthy. The people that come here that are not healthy are going away, are going back home. And I think, unfortunately, that represents Las Vegas. If you take a tour down Las Vegas Boulevard when it's not 120, it's pretty stark. I mean, it's a transient representation of the United States as a whole, and that is depressing. That is terribly depressing. But if you then strip away what Las Vegas Boulevard is and Las Vegas represents, and you go to the gym after work, and you go to where we all hang out, the locals hang out, it's a pretty cool bunch of people.
Yeah, it is.
We're relatively fit, relatively healthy. We have a hard life sometimes. It's a different life. I don't know if it's harder than anybody else's. It's not really, but it's a weird life we live here, even if we're not involved in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And certain demands are placed on us living in Las Vegas. But once you learn how to live here, it's a pretty good place. So good on you, Las Vegas. For demanding a certain level of fitness and health in its industries. And I think if you demand fitness and health in yourself, you shouldn't be chastised. Marcy, stand up for yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that
Marcy.
bleeds over from California, right? I mean, that's always, I've known people when I was in grad school and I was in California. A good friend of mine there was, he was from the South. And he just said, he said, this is just a different nation.
Yeah.
California is, is so much different than, the lifestyles and everything else that does kind of promote that. And as one of the benefits then of a more healthier eating, and of course California is great also because they have all they grow so many of the fruits and vegetables. Yeah. So you're going to have access to that. Where a lot of places you don't have
great
that.
Farmers markets. We don't have that here.
No, it's unfortunate.
We are. Las Vegas is lacking in that. And
we can't.
It's hard. It's hard to get stuff here.
Yeah.
That's why I always kind of laugh about the seafood. I mean, we have some quality seafood purveyors, but we are landlocked and the last place you need to eat seafood. But we have some great sushi places and great seafoods. But we don't do the farmers market, especially during summer.
I mean, I got spoiled when I lived in Monterey because you had so many of them come from the Central Valley.
Oh yeah, I think.
And and they had everything. They had old hippie farmers. They had younger ones. They had everybody. And talking to the farmers to see what grew. And one guy had been a conventional farmer and he switched over to everything organic. Yeah. And how his family had done that, certain things like he had those Saturn peaches, I think they're called, or donut peaches, and they're a lot more money. And he just says those trees take a lot of water, so it's just a matter of expense. It isn't because they're exotic; it's just that it costs him a lot more money in terms of water to grow those type of peaches. So.
Oh yeah, and we're water restricted, and I can grow the crap out of tomatoes, but man, I have had very little luck with everything else because of the soil base, and it's horrible. It's
I
horrible.
had a great year last year. I had eggplant,
nice.
beets, tomatoes. It was great up until now, about July.
Yeah.
And then everything shriveled up. I mean, it literally just can't. I have 2 lemon trees, but I keep them. I mean, they only get a couple of hours of morning sun, and then they're in the shade.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we can do.
Well, another thing Las Vegas offers, and we've mentioned this many times on the podcast, to go along, if you lead a decadent life here in Las Vegas, there are some wonderful things, and we offer a lot more, I think, than... This ain't Connecticut. I love that. Everybody loves when I say that. But we offer a lot more than what people understand and know, and a lot more than a lot of states can offer or cities can offer. We are less than 40 minutes away from almost every possible outdoor adventure sport you can do. Hiking, water skiing, ballooning, gliding, hang gliding, things like that. But we have Red Rock Canyon. I know Julie loves to hike.
Yeah.
We have Red Rock Canyon and Red Rock Loop. We have Mount Charleston, which is the place to go now when the sun comes out like it does now. Everybody goes to Charleston. And Cathedral Ridge up in Charleston, and there's no snow, of course, but they're wonderful places.
Valley of Fire.
Valley of Fire. Oh,
Lake Mead.
Lake Mead. Lake Mead's a little hot.
Yeah,
but Lake Mead itself, and of course the levels are going down. We need to talk about the conspiracy of the water level of Lake Mead. Right now it looks like it's we're down to like a glass of water.
Yeah.
But there's a whole conspiracy about Lake Mead and the water level. I want to bring up next podcast. But it's huge. It's crazy. But we have wonderful places to visit outside of Las Vegas and outside of Las Vegas proper, and we all enjoy it. Do you hike much, John?
No,
you should.
No, I don't hike that much. I mean, I do if I get out there, but I just don't make it.
Does your boy represents Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
Does he do outdoor stuff?
Not very much.
Not very much.
No.
Yeah.
No, but there is a lot of outdoor living here. People do a lot of barbecuing in the yards. But talking about the decadence of Las Vegas, usually when you think about it, when people think about Las Vegas, you're thinking about the clubs, you're thinking about drinking, you're thinking about sex.
Yes.
And all of that is, you go to the clubs, you're dancing, they're doing something, they're being physical. Yeah. Sex is, they're being physical. The drinking, well, there's a lot of carbs in there, a lot of calories, but nevertheless, at least they're active. Right. And, so in that case, it kind of offsets it. Right. And again, with so many nice days here, even despite the heat.
And we have a surprising number of individuals offering pole dancing lessons.
Yeah.
You've ever done?
No, I've never done it, but they used to offer a class over at MGM too.
Yeah. Well, John, we should do that one time.
Yeah.
Pole dancing. Yeah.
I would like to see that.
I got a Groupon for that. I could buy one for your own pole kit for your house.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't need it.
A Groupon for a pole.
Yes, a Groupon for a pole.
Outstanding. Julia, there you go.
There we go.
Christmas for Julia.
That's it. I always said you would have had more tips at the desk if they would have installed a pole. For the women, because that was it. Welcome, you guys.
Why not? I mean, everybody, people have painted this picture of Las Vegas. Why not?
That's right.
Right in the middle of the Venetian. What's the pole for? Well, you'll see.
That's right.
At every hour on the hour.
Yeah, after the room tour. Right?
It coincides with the Bellagio fountains. Julia and the concierge desk will show you what it's for. Amazing. Well, thanks, guys, for being here. Like I said, the Pod Bay Door is beginning to start a small podcasting network. Our first branch out of that network is going to come. It's going to be Julia, John, and I. We're going to be discussing all different types of things, not limited to Vegas. We might mention Vegas here and there, but we're going to talk about everything that affects our generation and beyond. And there's going to be a little bit of politics, not a lot, but health, finances, conspiracies, and everything that we can think of. We're going to think of some fantastic topics, but check out for that. Thanks to our sponsor, TBM Electric. They do a great job for all of your electrical needs in Las Vegas and the West Coast. TBMElectricLasVegas.com. Our email is thepodbaydoorlv@gmail.com. Please let us know what you think of everything that's been going on. Any Las Vegas topic that you want or need to know about, please let us know. We've had a lot of of comments come in regarding people coming in for a vacation or for their first visit or second visit, and I love to hear about all the stories that where we've helped, and we love to get all of those. Check in with us also at iTunes. We'd love to get those reviews going. Check in with us at iTunes. Let us know if you reviewed, and we can actually send you out a t-shirt. Also check Twitter and Facebook. Julia, who's now one of our co-hosts, just got her t-shirt. So she's
I'm going to post.
That's right. We're going to post that. And
Jamey, do
yes.
you offer the t-shirts with the hot chicken?
You know, I can't offer that for free, but you know, it's just you get a free t-shirt with every poll you buy. That's right. No, but check in for we have men's and women's t-shirts. We have mouse pads, we have ball caps, everything you want. But check in with all of our social networking. For John and Julia, this is Jamey. Thank you so much for your patronage, and we will see you next week. Thanks to everyone listening and watching. You can catch the Pod Bay Door on the Podbean app or any of your favorite podcast apps, including iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and Stitcher Radio. You can watch the show on our YouTube channel at the Pod Bay Door Podcast. Please download, like, and subscribe. Our social connectivity screen is coming up. Check in with us on Facebook, Twitter, and WordPress. The Pod Bay Door is closed and talent is out. Hey everybody, thank you very much for tuning into the show. We would love to hear your show suggestions and comments. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, please click to subscribe. You can also connect with us on Facebook using @PBD Podcast, on Twitter using @TPBD Podcast, and on WordPress at thepodbaydoor.wordpress.com.